Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to Minecraft. I don't know if you can tell by my cadence this evening, but I'm a little bit tired. Been a hot minute since I've pulled out that particular line, but hey, we welcome in the new year. We started to go on. How's everyone doing out there? Am I not? Where am I? Oh. I'm at the old house. Okay, enough of this dilly-dallying. Enough of this horseradish. We are off on our most incredible mission yet. Our most complete and grandest puzzle that we have yet to face. We're going to go build ourselves a kick-ass wizard tower, which is, as far as I know, the ultimate ambition of everyone. I have yet to meet someone whose ultimate ambition in life isn't building a kick-ass wizard tower, so let me know if that's if you're one of the rare few. If you're one of the strange outsiders that isn't into building a giant wizard tower for yourself, so that you can there's no real like designated activity in a wizard tower either. I guess that's why everyone wants to do it, just because like you can really just do anything in there. Yeah, you could make a little library for your shiny rock collection. You could read a bunch. You could train badgers in the culinary arts and have them compete against each other, like a really strange version of MasterChef. Marsupial chef. Are badgers marsupials? I feel okay. Deprescio, I can hear you from up the river, dude. Are you okay? Hey, Zaki. Settle a question of mine. Are badgers marsupials? Is that a thing badgers are known to be? I'm curious. I'm chomping at the bit to... That's I believe not the right way to say that. Hello doodles, are badgers marsupials? I'm asking everyone. This is a group project now. Because I made a great joke about a badger-based cooking competition called Marsupial Chef. And I need to know that my joke is accurate. I won't rest properly if my joke is inaccurate. I wonder if there's a pig or something of similar proportions. I'm sorry, pig, but your delicious meat will sustain me. A second pig, yet more delicious meat, to sustain me further. Hey, Bart. Don't look at me like that. Not after all the pig slaying I just did. That's rule number 1 of my wizard tower, is you're not allowed to look me in the eyes after I've killed a pig. It's too much. I need a certain level of emotional distance after that. Boop. Hey, kitty. I don't know what any of that means. They're actually, Mustralodia. Wombats are marsupials. Okay. That doesn't really roll off the tongue as well. Oh, well. Mammal chef? Eh. It has passed. It doesn't have the that like Master Chef has, you know? It needs a similar syllable in it, and it doesn't have that. But I suppose we'll just have to live with it. Nothing like pork chops to start a building day. Okay. Yo, Jono. And apparently kangaroos are marsupials as well. Well, now we're starting to fill out Marsupial Chef Australia. Which is, as we all know, the only one that anyone cares about. Okay, let's, as I said earlier, let us construct the only thing that everyone on Earth can agree that they want, which is a kick-ass wizard tower. I feel like that's the one melding factor of all of us here on this big old marble we call home, is that we all want to live in a kick-ass wizard tower. And I was saying earlier that there's no real like designated tower activity other than defending it, I guess. Like besides that, what would you say is the tower activity? There isn't one. You just have a tower. You just do tower stuff. There's not even like, I can't even think of tower stuff. You can do anything in a tower, which is I guess what makes it so like appealing. Okay, so I want to clear out this little area a little bit. Because this is where the base of the tower is going to be. Now, the cool thing about this is that the base doesn't actually matter that much. It doesn't have to be all that straight. It doesn't have to be all that like neat or tidy. It doesn't have to be big enough to accommodate. This isn't going to be like a fort. This is going to be a weird, wacky sort of tower. So we can have weird proportions with it, you know? But I want like an open shot of the sky, and I want it to be in the center of this this little clearing of trees. Oh. Now how did that happen? There we go. Okay. Well, let's just start building up for a bit. Okay. Is that a good height? Well, it's a good height for what we need, which is that now I start doing this. How long should we make this hallway? Like a little bit like that? A little bit like that? Yeah, why not? And then we go up again. And then... I guess this way? Yeah. 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 You were gonna die building like that, you fool. Shush. We're just trying to get the skeleton right now. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're just doing the framing, you know? We're gonna go this way, sort of make ourselves like a sick kind of almost leaning kind of situation. And then is that far enough? Yeah, that feels far enough. Yeah, then we're gonna build out like a platform. How do you get down? Through skill and determination. And I didn't think about that when I started doing this. We will figure it out as we go. Where's your sense of adventure? Your sense of whimsy? We're building a wizard tower, guys. You gotta be whimsical. You simply must be whimsical with this. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. You gotta let the whimsy take you sometimes. Okay, now we need to stretch out this side as well. Now, I kind of wanted this to be a room, but maybe this is just sort of like a branching corridor. Because what I can do is like this, right? Lean it out a little bit. And then if I aim it just right, I can jump into the irrigation water. But yeah, I think like something like that. Do that. You know, really just get the shapes wild. This is kind of cool so far. I mean, he's a wizard. Of course he can get down. Zombie spawns and jump scares him into falling off the platform. Yeah, start taking bets on how I inevitably fall off of this. I dare you. Can't wait to see where this goes. Yeah, I'm gonna go off topic, but I feel like the reaction of Konami to dropping player count and possibly earnings was just to make more bundles and accessories. An interesting way to solve it. It is weird, right? Like, I all I've been hearing about Master Duel for the past, I don't know, couple of months now, or whatever, has been like, oh, player counts are down, how is Master Duel gonna survive this? Oh, hey, that's cool. There's a guy down there that I, don't love. Now, it looks like he is just sort of chilling, because he doesn't seem to have seen me. Oh, I can see his eyes. I don't like that he's just sort of around. Are Endermen okay with torches? Do they hang out around where torches are? Hey, you get the fuck away from my horse. You get the fuck away from my farm. Oh. I don't like that. I don't like the noises he's making. He sounds so frustrated. What was that? Yeah, Endermen just hate the water. That sucks. You know, they had to drop the Bellstar alt art. I mean, it's certainly a way of solving earnings issue, but is it a long-term sustainable? Meh, and it obviously doesn't make the players happy. Look, a lot of companies for a while now have not cared about long-term sustainability, you know? I mean, that's why we keep getting all of these big tech companies that are going all in on AI because they think it's going to make them a ton of money. But they don't understand that, like, it's actively making their products worse and poisoning their fan base. Like, no one wants to use your products if they suck for super long. I mean, have you seen recently how, because of all the RAM that's being produced for AI, they're moving back to, like, 4 gigabyte and 6 gigabyte phones and, like, 8 gigabyte laptops and things like that for, like, kind of mid-tier laptops in the future. And yeah, that's because they don't care about long-term sustainability. They care about the short term. They want to make as much money as possible right now. That Enderman down there is so desperate to be up in my business, but has not figured out how to get up my amazing wizard tower yet. This is, tower might not be the right word anymore. I've kind of constructed a wizard pathway. This is sort of a wizard labyrinth. A wizard highway, if you will. That's what, 1, 2 blocks? 1, 2 blocks. Why does that side look longer? Don't look at him. I mean, he's already, like, going nuts down there. I don't think he's a fan of mine. I don't think eye contact is gonna be the deciding factor. Okay. I want to make pure Azamina. Azamina looks fun, I gotta say. It looks like a very fun archetype. Although... oh man, is he ruining my crops? What a dick. I planted those crops myself. What an ass. I don't go around ruining his... okay. I would love it if this game didn't give me heart attacks by giving the triangle player the okay to go ham. That would be pretty cool if this game wasn't just like constantly, oh. Well, I don't think he knows how to get this high up. He's really trying. That zombie kind of also doesn't know what to do. Ooh, the sun. Guys, let's watch the sunset together. The sunrise together. You live there forever. That's me in middle school playing with the triangle, Lamau. Was your triangle like electric in middle school? Because that's a crazy noise. The fucking Cats OST just started playing. That's pretty, though. I do like that. My little slice of paradise. I would love it if it had less tall, creepy, purple-eyed men in it, but like, hey. Who said paradise had to be perfect, am I right? Oh. I mean, he's managing to get to the top of trees, right? Like, but he's not quite getting to the top of this platform. There's nothing quite like the smell of burning zombies in the morning. Oh. He's super not happy with me. Yeah, I don't like how he makes radio static. Whoop. I deserve that. Okay. He willed me off of the platform. That wasn't my fault. That was the creeper's fault. The guy, that guy, the Enderman's fault. They willed me off of the platform. Rip. Thank you, Doodles. This sunrise is lovely. The way I played it, yeah, it could probably generate electricity. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, I don't know how to fix the player base problem with Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I guess the general solution, right, that people offer is like, oh, ban Max C. And that's something I hear in all of the this will fix the player base problem with Yu-Gi-Oh! Is ban Max C. It makes the gameplay format too unhealthy. Ban it. And it's like, yeah, okay, but the problem with doing that is that the replacement for Max C is the mulch armies, and you need all 3 mulch armies to do what Max C does with 1 card. And they're definitely not going to be banning Max C anytime soon because it's so like. I remember you guys saying that it wasn't it wasn't one of those packs. I remember it being one of those packs, but it's such a like well-known card. It's such a big part of basically every deck. I don't think they're going to be banning it anytime soon. And even if they do, right? Like there has to be other things that need to be done as well. Like it cannot be simply because of 1 card. My solution is newer cuntier anime about the online game. An anime would help. There hasn't been a Yu-Gi-Oh anime in quite a while, and I have seen a lot of people going like, that's a contributing factor to why the game isn't as popular anymore. You know? So an anime probably would help spark interest in the game again. And making it about Master Duel could be a fun solution. I do actually really like that idea, Doodles. And it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Of course it's going to be Kanti. Like, without a doubt. It would be insane if it wasn't. I want all my stuff, please. All my stuff would be great. Thank you. There is no more tall man. I can't see a tall man here. I'm gonna eat that mutton real quick. Then I'm gonna go back to the lair. Go back to the underground lair and grab some ladders so that we can get back up to our platform. And then, yeah, we just start building the base of everything. Sort of an above ground, underground hideout, if you will. Eight sticks is not gonna cut it. But a bunch of cherry planks might. Hoo-hoo! Ka-chow. Ka-chow. I mean, the solution just makes, is just to make the game better, obviously. There are clear issues that people complain about, and that doesn't only include Max C. Okay, give me some examples. What would unanimously make the game better? Without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt, what would make the game better that everyone would agree with and would bring the player base back? Friendo, you have ladders in the chest? Yes, but now I have even more ladders. I have so many ladders. Ladders that you can't even imagine. I have more ladders in my hand than you will see in a lifetime. And a spear. Ho 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 ho. How do I... The spear doesn't seem wildly effective, gotta say. I know that there's like jousting now. For example, balancing obviously first... Hang on. The chat moved up slightly. For example, balancing obviously. First is still ridiculous, or solo mode just being there but not offering anything of substance. No, look, okay, I agree with you, Jono, that there are a lot of gameplay factors that need to be addressed. But the problem is that, like, balancing, right? How would you go about balancing? Would you make decks weaker? Would you make more going second decks? Because wouldn't that just eventually arrive you at the opposite point of going second is now the best way to do this? It's just, I feel like when I hear the phrase make the game better, it fills me with a sort of like, kind of, feeling of like, but how though? How would that happen? I just think that some more concrete solutions I mean, obviously you've put some in chat, and I'm gonna get there in a second, I promise. And I know it's not as simple as saying like oh well, if you fix these 3 games the game will be perfect. Yu-Gi-Oh will never be perfect. It's a game. You know, there will always be something to complain about. There's always going to be something that someone will complain about. Absolutely 100%. But it's just whenever I hear the phrase make the game better, like a very skeptical part of my mind gets triggered. So that was maybe a knee-jerk reaction on my part. Sorry. Okay. Let's make another platform. When is enough platforms is the question, I guess. I mean, I'm gonna have to start building walls at some point, you know? And this... let's make this one a bit wide. Where is the best view, do you guys think? It's a bit hard to tell right now with the rain. But yeah, I think that's a good, like, landing platform. Like, I can use a bucket, make a waterfall go off there, so that I can just sort of flow easily down. And then one of these I sort of want to be the bedroom area. And I can maybe just sort of like build off a part that way and go up if I want to build more storage or whatever. But maybe this is the bedroom. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Boop, boop. 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 I always feel like I build these too small. Like, I never... in my head, this looks like quite a large area, but as soon as you put the walls up and stuff, you realize, oh, actually, it probably could have been 1 block a bit further out, and it would have been a little bit less claustrophobic in there. You know what I mean? Yeah, maybe we just... do that. Just in case. Just in case. Yeah, this isn't a bad room. This could be pretty good. Maybe a bit more up. Okay. Let me catch up on the chat a little bit. Hang on. One step ahead of you on the map. Yeah. Chunky colors and crop tops will make the game better. You know, there's so many answers to that, though. If there was just one thing you could do that everyone would agree with, which is already impossible, and that would make everyone come back, would be crazy. Yeah. Yeah, that's totally fair to ask how, though. So I'll ask the same of you. How would you make Master Duel better? I think fixing the game's economy is a big one. Good idea. Let's destroy the cherry trees, Cal. The Oran School Host Club would like to talk to you about blocking the light from the cherry trees. How are they supposed to kiss, fall in love under these conditions? They can do it under the grand shadow of my enormous monolith. They can do it under the wondrous scope of my phenomenal being. The Oran Host High School Club, which a tenuous club at best, I must say. I cannot imagine there's a whole lot of extracurriculars happening. Unless you talk about AP Frenching. Nah. I'm funny. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Gonna go rest in my bed. We'll continue this in the morning. So how would you redesign the game's economy? Well, I think that either lowering the prices for... no, you know what? That actually wouldn't work. Lowering the prices of packs wouldn't work. Maybe lowering the prices for like the in-game currency would incentivize people more to buy it. And then that would incentivize the stockholders, the shareholders, to keep supporting the game. But I think maybe also having like a 5-pack option, you get the 1-pack, you get the 10-pack, having an in-between option for like 500 gems, that is just sort of a nice go-between for people who can't afford the 10-pack option, but it still gives them a decent amount of cards to work with. I think giving out more craft materials. I understand that like Konami wants to make money, and the way that they make money is that they sell you gems, and then you use the gems to buy card packs, and there's no guarantee you're going to get like the kind of cards that you need to get the dust that you need to craft the cards that you actually want. I understand that that scam is a part of the economy, but I just do think it shows more of like a sense of goodwill to your player base to give more opportunities to get craft material. I don't think that that's that big of an ask. I think that that's something that Konami could absolutely do and still make a profit from. Like, you could just sell craft material. I don't understand why that's not the case. Like, you can sell gems but not the craft material. It just feels like... I understand also that they want that sort of element of like, oh, maybe you won't get it, and that creates the gambling sort of loot box deal that packs have going on. But I guarantee you people would probably still buy packs if you could buy craft material. People do love the aspect of getting the packs, and also you don't have to sell 30 craft material at a time. But I guess, you know, that's contingent on Konami not wanting to get as much money from the player base as humanly possible. So, maybe that wouldn't work. Yeah, I see your point, Jono. I did sort of ask you an impossible quandary, didn't I? Come on, man. There we go. I did just ask you to solve the Yu-Gi-Oh! Economy. Okay. Do that. Okay. Then... Oh. If you right-click on stone blocks with the pickaxe, that doesn't do anything, right? Because I know for some things, like using the shovel, right-clicking on dirt makes a road, and using the axe did something, I think. It did something to wood. Or whatever. I'm not sure. But it doesn't work that way with, like, a pickaxe, does it? Well. Oh. Hang on. Oh, gosh. What's my computer doing? It is cutting to a black screen very frequently. Yes, think before you speak, Cal. Sure. Actually, those little shits do a lot of community work. Stop spending real money on fake cardboard. Honestly, I might be saying something crazy, but I feel like gems are pretty easy to get, and getting decks isn't that hard either. It's pretty generous, in my opinion. Fair. Ooh. Oh gosh, what's happening with this? I'm like turning, and the game is cutting to black. Does Minecraft need me to be playing this on like a high-end PC now? What's going on? Surely this can't be an issue with my video card going like, oh, I can't render all of these many squares. What are you doing, my liege? Why are you forcing me to render all of these squares? No. We aren't seeing what you're seeing? Yeah, no, that's probably because the video capture isn't capturing... You know what? I think I've talked about this before. It might be my monitor, not my video card. But it's... Occasionally, the game will just... The entire screen that I'm working with will just cut to black. And it's crazy to me that a game like Minecraft... Like, Minecraft, I know, has been going for a very long time. And obviously has more technology behind it now. Like, it's probably... The graphic specs of Minecraft have probably gone up quite a bit. But I would have thought that the benefit of Minecraft is that kind of anyone can play it, regardless of computer, you know? Isn't that sort of one of the best parts about this game, is that you don't need a high-end, top-of-the-line computer to play it. You can just sort of play it. Ooh, no, hang on. There we go. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're starting to look high fantasy. Ooh, maybe this is like a viewing platform. Do that. Like, yes. Yes, I can see much. I can see much and far. I think you might want to reset your graphics card or restart or something. No, I don't know why this happens. It doesn't... The thing is, though, like, I play more graphics-intensive games, and this doesn't happen. I'm really genuinely, I'm starting to think that it's, like, my computer. Not my computer, my monitor. Because if I Alt-Tab out of the game, right, it doesn't happen. It's this room specifically that seems to be hurting my monitor a lot. Mojang, fix your game, please. It's literally resetting my monitor. Please. I mean, if there was ever a better what's call to action for going to the Byte Marx Patreon, it's so that I can get a monitor that doesn't want to kill itself every time I walk into a room with 2 high walls in Minecraft. Alrighty. Now this might kill me, but on the off chance that it doesn't. Whoa, no. Kind of threaded the needle on that one. That one was my fault. Yep. Yeah, no, absolutely. 100%. You are absolutely right, Deprescio. I should not have died that way. It was entirely avoidable. And I will be making that mistake again. I will say, though, just to go back to the Master Duel conversation real quick, I don't understand a lot of the choices with the bundles. Not the bundle content. Like, obviously the decks they released are very popular decks. I absolutely understand why they chose those. Draco Tail and Archmage is rad. Like, I fully get it. Draco Tail, Archmage, Azamina, all of those, it makes sense. It's more that, like, I don't really get the reasoning behind the collector's files. Because it seems like the whole point of the collector's files is, like, you can collect the cards from the archetype and get it in a pretty binder? I don't really see the appeal of that. I got the collector's file with the, that one lab bundle. And as soon as I got it, I was like, at first I thought it was like a regular binder. Like, it put all of your cards in there. And you were going to just be able to, like, flip through it and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's, like, a cool sort of nod to the physical card game. That you get, like, a binder and things like that. That's a pretty cool idea. And then they're just like, no. It has 18 slots, and it's only for this archetype. Which, that feels... I know a lot of the cosmetics in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel are pretty ancillary. They're pretty vestigial. But, like, come on. That one feels like the most vestigial one I've seen in a while. You know, in case you want to look at your cards. On a separate screen in your profile. Oh. But please tell me that was your stomach. Okay, Well, it's monstrous. And a little bit hideous. Wonderful. I love it. Build me 1 million. Build me 10 million, in fact. Yeah, I think this first level is going to be kind of, that's living quarters if we can ever, you know, do anything there. This will be sort of, I was thinking storage here. Just general sort of storage. That's the dropping down onto the farm platform. And then we build another level up, I think. That would be, like, maybe more specified things, you know? Like, this is the crafting room. Well, not exactly what I wanted. Built those ladders for no reason. I didn't build them for no reason. I'm going up still. That's the reason. I've realized this is not traditionally how a tower works. But then again, you could say a lot of the things we have here aren't traditional. Traditionally, the sun isn't that shape, so, you know, at a certain point, the traditions are dead. Kind of like my mouse's scroll wheel. How far up is too far up? Is the question. Oh. That's... I didn't expect it to work like that. Okay, well. I mean, this is fine, like, height-wise, but do we start... We could build a platform here, I guess. And then just sort of go that way. Like, have the tower kind of fold back on itself. New monitor and new mouse. I can play it, and apparently my laptop is a relic. Yeah, it has to be my monitor then. I don't know what's going... Well, I have had this monitor for quite a number of years now. I think you might want to... Oh, no, I already read that. I'm too far back. Mojang, fix your game. The collector file looks like it's there to make marginally more money. Some people will be like, oh, I need to complete this, and I'm spending money. Very marginal, though. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. It does sort of scratch that, like, I don't like seeing blank spaces in my collector file itch. But I don't know, at the same time, I don't know that Master Duel needed another feature that was quite so... What's the word I'm looking for here? Shallow? Why not make the farm also go in the air? We will. This is looking nothing like a wang. Clearly you have not seen very many wangs in your life. This looks exactly like a wang. In fact, I'm worried that this stream will get demonetized with how much this looks like a wang. But wait, so Jono, you were saying something earlier about solo mode just being there. What do you mean by that? Because I personally, I actually think that solo mode is one of the things that Master Duel does really well. You know? I think that they maybe did it better kind of earlier in the run of the game when the solo mode would fully give you a starter deck based on the archetype you were playing. And obviously it wouldn't give you like maybe the most expensive, most incredible cards from that archetype, but it would give you enough to sort of start. Oh, okay, you know what? You know one thing I would suggest to fix Master Duel? Either change the legacy cards and the packs, like the cards that you get from winning duels and stuff, into ones that I can dismantle, or stop giving them as rewards. Because it is deeply frustrating to get a card that I am never going to use, have it be in like royal finish, and then realize like, oh, I can't dismantle this. And then go and see, like, if you sort by number owned, right, in your collection, and it comes up with like, oh, you have 17 normals of this one card, and it's like, cool, I will never need 17 of this card, and now I have them because I can't dismantle them. That pisses me off. I wish that wasn't a thing. Like, I kind of get why they don't want to just sort of give you the ability now to dismantle those, because people would get a whole lot of ultra rare material really fast. But at the same time, I don't understand why having non-dismantleable cards was ever a thing. Maybe from the structure decks, I guess. Because then, like, I can understand with the structure decks, because it's like, oh, people will buy the structure decks for 500 gems and then dismantle all of the ultra rares, and that's way cheaper than buying 10 packs of cards, you know? So, like, I kind of understand why they did it that way, but at the same time, it's just like, it's the most annoying thing in the world to get a royal finish ultra rare from the legacy pack and go, oh, well, I'm never going to use this, and I'm also never going to be able to make use of this by dismantling it. I like solo mode, but they need a mode that lets you customize everything about a duel in solo, like starting hand and how many cards. Oh, you mean like a testing mode? Yeah, like I would love a testing mode in Master Duel, like something that I could really just sort of try stuff out with. Okay, I guess we're just spending the night up here. Spending the night on the tower, folks. We've got pork chops to keep us warm, and we'll keep an eye on Bart while we're up here. We're just gonna climb up a level, because I saw an Enderman. Kinda don't wanna deal with that right now. Let's watch Bart together, as we wait for the sun to rise and all the monsters to die. I want to kick Kaiba's ass in game, then you want to play Duel Links, because then you actually get to duel Kaiba, yeah. I have no desire to get any collector file. Fully understandable. You need to call your doctor if this is what your wang looks like. I mean, would you know? Truly, this could be the most normal looking wang you've ever borne witness to. This is what my wang's soul looks like. I like solo mode, but they need a mode. Oh no, I read that already. I have so many blue eyes that I can't dismantle. Same, dude. There's not much content in it. In some of the gameplay loop, over and over again, play against weak bot, win, go to the next gate. Sure, you can play the loners, but who does that? I get you. I would love if solo mode had more. Well, I suppose the problem with that, right, is that the whole point of solo mode is to teach you about the archetypes. I would love it if solo mode had more like instances. There was a big thing with like Hearthstone, right, where they had adventures, and basically it got to a certain point with Hearthstone where I didn't play it for anything else except for the adventures, because the adventures were so fun. I really enjoyed them, and I wish more card games did stuff like that, where they introduce sort of like an interesting rule set into the game. Like they can start off simple with it's like oh, you're not allowed to draw cards, so you have to make a deck that gets cards into your hand without you having to draw them. And then that could teach players like, oh, this is the benefit of having lots of like searches and things like that. That's how this engine works. And then you're teaching newer players like some of the more, nuanced bits of the game that more experienced players just sort of know, but newer players don't really understand very well. Like when I was starting out with Yu-Gi-Oh, right, I had the benefit of coming from other card games. So I knew like, oh, a card that searches you a card is always going to be powerful because that's how you set up your combo. But to someone who has never played a card game before, having like a card that searches another card kind of feels redundant when it's like, but I could have just like 2 strong cards and then I wouldn't need to search for another card. So it would be really cool if the game like gave you sort of more insight into the more nuanced parts of it. And then maybe, you could have other modes, like a story mode where you have to... There was a Hearthstone adventure called, like, Mines of the Kobolds or something. Well, that gave you... It basically forced you to build a deck as you were going. Like, it gave you options for cards, and you had to build your deck as you went through the adventure, so you'd never have the same deck twice. I don't know how that would work with Yu-Gi-Oh! I think maybe you would just... It would give you, like, archetypes, and you would get cards from those archetypes, and then you would sort of, like, combine the archetypes that you know work well or something. I don't know. But I think something like that could be very cool and very fun for players. But it is also... The issue is, like, how complicated Yu-Gi-Oh! Is as a card game. Not just... Not just in terms of how many different cards there are, but how many different interactions between cards there are. But from very small parts of rules text, like a card requiring fiends will always work really well with like Fiendsmith, but even though it's a good card, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's good in every deck. Like there's intricacies with every card game, but Yu-Gi-Oh has a level of intricacy to it that most card games do not, because it's been going for so long. I'm making you sad. Please build yourself a big pond. I will build myself a big pond, I promise. Actually, how long's the stream been going for? Well, let's go climb the tower one last time. And I will catch up with the chat. But I'm going to be honest, y'all. I did not get a lot of sleep. I don't know if I mentioned that already. But I'm sort of running off of 3 hours of sleep here. And so I'm going to call the stream a bit early tonight. So I don't die. I recently finished editing the bonus episode for the recent Byte Marx episode that Emilio and I did. The Byte Marx episode is coming out tomorrow. Well, it's coming out in like 2 hours. But the bonus episode will only be on the Patreon and the members YouTube channel. And I really enjoyed it. I really like the little orc talks we do. It's very fun. There's also, I don't know if I ever like advertise it very much. If you guys watch the video where I gave Emilio a Digimon partner, at the end of that video I do a speed draw. And I did a sort of like a breakdown on the members only YouTube. Nope. The YouTube members only part of the channel. I've been saying these words so much that they mean nothing. They mean nothing. They're mush coming out of my mouth now. But yeah, I did a breakdown of how I did that speed draw. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, feel free to go check it out. I don't know how insightful it's going to be. It's the very first time I've ever done a speed draw like that in a video, but I think it turned out well. And yeah, let's read some chat. Why not? Why not indeed? I'm going to go to this giant Teletubby thing. Ooh, maybe this is where I put the waterfall. Because then I can make it like... Yeah, that might be cool. This could be pretty sick. And then that can be something else. That can be like that can be the viewing platform. But yeah, we're just gonna stare out over Bart. Okay. Are you into MC Escher paintings? A little bit. I think they're interesting. I'm not that into it. Also, please let me try a deck I don't own in solo mode. Yeah, I would love it if they had more variety in the loner decks. I feel like the loner decks are a great opportunity for Konami to show off some of the archetypes that haven't been touched as much. Like, every time loner decks happen in an event after near a bundle, I'm like, okay, one of the loner decks is going to be from the bundle. Another one of the loner decks is going to be like a popular deck that's been going around, but worse. And another one of the loner decks is going to be completely out of left field. And I feel like they could be using that to show off some of the other archetypes. And maybe combinations for how they work in the modern game. Like, obviously, there are just some archetypes that don't work anymore. You know? Battery Man, I love you. You are not for the current game, I'm sorry. But it would be cool to see Konami, the people who literally make this game, create decks of like interesting archetypes that aren't commonly used. Also, replayability isn't there either. Once you're done with it, you only go back for the solo mode gem mission. Yeah. That's why I think like sort of like a continuous solo mode, like that mission I mentioned, that single adventure I mentioned from Hearthstone would be cool. Konami is so allergic to playing the game in any other way than modern and Master Duel. Yeah, why haven't they added Genesis yet? Letting your crops feed on your dead horse. Great idea. Please build yourself a big pond. You're making me sad. Okay, we got there. Doodles is a sad cow. You gotta listen to him. Him? Doodles is a her? I did not know. Lol, gender is a social construct that matters very little. True. I just want to try a deck before I build it, without having to use weird online platforms. I get you. I do think that there should be a testing mode. Maybe that should be like part of the rooms or something. That should be or like a separate thing. And then that mode where you can sort of decide all of the parameters, put some of the formats in that. Allow us to create the parameters to play like Time Wizard or Genesis or whatever, you know? I feel like that's the way to do it because everyone wants to play more formats. That's one of the main complaints I hear about when it comes to things like Master Duel is there's not enough formats, even though there are more formats in the Yu-Gi-Oh community. Like we all want to play Time Wizard or Genesis or whatever or any of the other formats that I totally absolutely know the names of. 100% know the names of. You can't prove that I don't. And they just aren't there. They just aren't available in the game. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for watching. Sorry it was kind of low energy today. Sorry, we got quite a bit done with the tower. I have to go back and get more cobbled deep slate. I'm kind of running out. So I might do that before the next stream. In the meantime, take care of yourselves. I will see you on Wednesday for Silk Song, where I am hopefully a bit more rested. Hopefully not arrested. Development. That was bad. Anyway. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys on Wednesday for Silk Song. I'll see you on Friday for Yu-Gi-Oh! And in the meantime, have a good rest of your week. Enjoy yourselves. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Stay watching. Have fun in the sun. Have some adventures. And as always, everybody, Mr. Pig says, stay magical. So long.